We've got the street Yashio Factory S15 out of storage because it's time to finish this car, but also it's super exciting because its birthday's coming up. It's about to turn 60,000 kilometers. Those are real, genuine kilometers, guys. Which means it's now time for us to cut and chop and weld the rear fenders so we can fit bigger wheels as well as make this thing lower to the ground. Don't hate me. Before we get started, let's make sure we get to listen to God's engine first. Oh my gosh. It sounds so good. Don't worry, we pre-warmed it when we moved it from over there. But listen to this thing. Thing idles so well. Nice Yashio Factory titanium exhaust. Absolutely amazing. If you haven't been following along, quick recap. This is a genuine real Yashio Factory S15 Silvia that I got to build alongside Oka-chan from Yashio Factory, the SR god himself. This car has a ton of sentimental value, being able to build this with Oka-chan from Yashio Factory, him being the one that taught me how to drift. And this is kind of the car that started getting me into taking drifting seriously and actually wanting to do it professionally here in Japan. My first drift car here in Japan was actually this R33.4 Nissan Skyline. Type M, or they call it Type M, but it's essentially just a GTST rear-wheel drive one. This car was a lot of fun, and I grew a lot as a driver and a person, and honestly, this is what started my YouTube channel, as this thing. So it's super cool. We've got this, and then from this, we upgraded to this and built this like specific, you know, grassroots potential crazy S15 here with Oka-chan. Now, the last time we really got to drive this, we got into 2 accidents in one day driving with Oka-chan. He smashed into my door. I at one point made a miscalculation with how grippy the tires were in the wet and went rear end into a tire wall. So that's why we got a new back panel installed and stuff. But everything's been fixed in the car. It's just been sitting here waiting for the opportunity for us to be able to get the car and the body like all repainted and spruced up. But at the same time, we also need to do some work. Previously, when this car was competing in Gakudori, it had this really interesting aero kit on here and they molded the rear fenders. This isn't crash damage that was puttied up. This is like someone molding in an aero kit. And I confirmed it because I stuck my camera in there and I'll put the pictures in, but there's no damage to any of either side. It's just they puttied the hell out of it to mold in these flares. It just really sucks. But anyways, we're gonna try and knock all that out today. We're gonna cut, we're gonna weld, and it should be good. This is a purpose-built grassroots car. Not worried about it. Yes, it has low kilometers, but this car means more to me in its like battle ready stage than it would if we just did nothing with it. So, you know, let's get it done. Oh, I forgot the most important thing. We have a full Yashio Factory Golf R2 kit over here to put on it. So we're gonna be doing that. What we wanna do is kind of cut pretty much here around this, like where the putty line's ending right now, but I definitely want to pull all this putty off as much as we can. 1, for weight reduction, and 2, I actually want to get under the fenders, the over fenders painted this time, so that the car's going to be nice and pink everywhere, no matter what. And we want to do this job properly. So we've already got our seam sealer, we've got our panel bond, and we're obviously going to be welding that up. So that way, no rust can form there, and it should be good. We are not going to be cutting it like my comp car, because my comp car fenders are pretty much chopped like all the way up here. Trying to see if I can get a good angle of it for you. If I go under here, you'll see. See, look how high they're chopped. All the way pretty much up here. We don't want that. We kind of, you know, we just want to go, we don't want to have to cut into the fuel thing here. We just want to be like here, like that. And chop. We're going to start by putting a bit of warmth into the panel. Hopefully that'll help us being able to like get under there with a bit of a chisel and stuff and knock it out without doing too much damage. But you can see the putty, the cracks kind of stop around here. So we're expecting, like, you know, when he molded in those, it probably comes to like up here. So if we can knock as much of that out as we can, and then we'll just hit it with a flappy disc on an angle grinder. It really does suck they put so much putty in this just to mold an aero kit in, but at the same time, I get it. Moment of truth. Let's see. Ooh, that feels weird. Oh my gosh, it's so much. Look how thick that is. Gosh. Ah, it hurts. It hurts. Why is there so much in the car? Oh gosh. At least it's coming off somewhat easy, but every time I see how much comes off, I cringe. Ugh. So much putty! Right. All right, you know what? I'm gonna collect like 10 of these big pieces and I'm gonna sign them and put them in every merch order that comes in. First 10 merch orders that come in, I'll throw in these signed pieces off the OG Yashio Factory S15. This is pretty impressive. There's so much putty. It's got the OG paint on there too from when it was in Dakudori. I'm glad we got to it because you can see like there's a bit of surface rust starting to develop in here. So definitely good time. I hate this so much. I hate this so much. Oh, ew. Oh, I hate this. 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 I hate this.
Easier than I would.
Yeah, thank God it's coming off somewhat easy, but it's still a lot to get. We don't need this to be perfect, right? This is getting covered by an overfender, but I definitely want to get all this bog out. There's just no point of it being there, and it'll be nice to just have that cut, welded, looking good, and that way no rust, no nothing can get in there. The fact that this bog was exposed like that lets moisture get in there, and it could cause a big problem for us later on. But yeah, definitely not ideal, but I'm glad we got to it when we did. Gosh. This side might actually be harder.
Right.
I think there's a fair bit here. Like I just think it doesn't look like it's split as much as the other side, so I think it'll be harder. Let's see.
Ooh.
That's a big piece, look at that. This really shows water coming inside there. See? So it's good to hit it, get it out. Doesn't look like there's as much on this side. Oh, you know what? No, I take that back. There's definitely a lot. Just why? Why?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big piece. I knew that was there too. So weird. Dude, I can't wait because the Yashio Aero Kit's gonna fit on here 10 times better now because it doesn't have all this bog on the body. We've relocated outside because this is about to be messy. PPE is all on. You guys know the drill. so much putty that the battery couldn't even handle it. This is exactly why I need an SB Tools one. I'll pull this one out for now. Well, this escalated quickly. I'm gonna say that there was some kind of damage on this side when they did the molding, because I don't see why they skimmed all of this. Although I don't see any signs of repair here. So that's got me kind of wondering what's up. Like, I don't see any like markings or anything. So, you know, usually like if there was any kind of dents, you'd see like the little points where they, you know, like the little things that weld on and then you pull it with a little sliding hammer. I don't see any of that here. Obviously, like, this panel is going to need a bunch of sanding and stuff, probably 400 grit on the orbital and stuff to get that nice and smoothed out. Because I'm using the flappy disc, that's not ideal, but we'll be able to get it pretty good. Like I said, this is all getting covered, so I'm not worried, but I just don't want putty in there. Like, it's ridiculous. This side, just the molding, nothing over here. So that was really nice. But yeah, the other side had me really worried. I was like, there's no way both sides are like this, and they weren't. Because yeah, I started on this side and it was, no. The only other thing I was thinking is maybe this was the side that they started with and they were like really try hard. And they're like, you know what? That's too much work to go from there to there. And then on this side, they just kind of went, we say in Japanese, like tekitou, which means like half-assed, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just so bizarre. It's like, if any of you guys are panel beaters or know your stuff with bodywork, like, this doesn't look like this took an impact or damage. And there's no putty on the inside of the door jamb. It was like skimmed just all this, all the way into this. It was like the same putty too. So I don't know. This doesn't look like there's any dents. It's hard because you can see all the crisscrossing and stuff on the flappy disc, but there's no big dents in this. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm not a body guy, but all of that gets covered with an over fender, but still, I want it to be nice-ish under there. And I think we literally just took out, like, I don't know, a kilogram of weight from both sides. There was so much putty in those over fender sections where they molded in the old aero kit. So a win regardless. Got the car inside, up on jack stands. It's time for us to mark our arch. Now, we're not going to be going crazy high up or anything like that. I only want to go like an inch or so just above where this currently is. We don't need a ton of room. We're not doing a crazy comp build or anything at this point with this car. The simplest and easiest thing that I like to do is I set my studs, one stud at straight up and down. I get a bit of welding wire. I put a bit of tension on that, and then I just kind of hold this level where I want it to be. And then do that. We'll tie it in differently, but it's like the simplest, easiest way to get somewhat of an okay arch, right? Just for this section. Here, we're gonna have to connect it differently for sure. And you can replicate and get it somewhat pretty good, but you can see this just wants to keep going down here. Now, we're not gonna obviously do that, so we don't need to cut into this. So what we'll now do is just, from like here, we'll probably come in like that. Same here. We're gonna come in here to there. Oh, so we'll end up coming in there, just like that. It's very hard to keep straight when I'm wearing gloves and there's a big chunk of welding wire on there. But that's what we're gonna do. Super simple. Like I said, we're not going for crazy perfection on this. It's getting covered with an over fender, but we still want it to have somewhat of a, you know, nice kind of arch instead of freehanding an arch that gives you somewhat of controllability. And obviously, You want to try it and not have this at like different angles as you do it. So try to just hold it as level as you can. If you want to be really, really crazy with it, you could actually probably make a nice rig. That's the same thing essentially, that comes off that point, brings it out to here, holds everything level, and just does it. You could definitely do that, and that would be something really cool to 3D print, but the welding wire trick works pretty good with a couple loops here and helps hold it kind of straight. So I like using that method, especially for things that are getting covered with an over fender. But if I was doing this where like, it needed to be like perfect on both sides, it would definitely be like a rig for sure. So we're gonna go replicate the same thing on the other side, and we should be good. Nice. You want to make sure you don't get too close to this area here where the gas cap is, and you want to have enough room there. Function over form, my guys. Should be able to just... There it is. Woohoo. Nice. Here it is. Yeah, see, this is what we're cutting through here. This is what I mean when you go to weld it and this stuff's all in here, this can catch on fire. So, yeah, gotta be careful. You've probably seen other videos online where people will then cut slits into this and then bend those up and then weld all those slits up and stuff. You shouldn't need to do that. You should be able to massage this up high enough where you'll get it close enough to, you know, do what you need to do. It's gonna be a lot of hammer work, but you should be able to just keep working at it with a big hammer and get through it. That's gonna be my goal, is trying to do that. And then we also need to pull this out. This always catches on fire. You gotta be so careful with this thing in here. It's just a bit of foam. We just pulled that whole thing through. This will always catch on fire, so you gotta be careful. Pull that out, and then when we go to clean up this edge, I'll try to get some more of the sound deadening kind of scraped off the inside and pushed up as well. But from here on, it's just gonna be a lot of hammer work and cleaning this stuff up so that we can get that tucked up nice. Oh yeah, we're getting there. A lot of hammering. A lot of hammer work, baby. A lot of hammer work. And a bit of an air hammer would be great actually for this, probably for massaging it. And then just keep putting a bit more heat in, bit more heat in, bit more heat in. But you can see we're starting to already close these gaps. Way it's so much nicer. You can just tack and weld it in place, seal it up. You don't have to seal up all those slits and cuts that you made. This is 100% the better way to do it. Just more time consuming. Getting close to closing it now. You just gotta massage that metal. Gotta get some heat in there too.
A few moments later.
After a bunch of hammering, we've gotten this line really nice and kind of flush here. So we can literally just tack this all into place, cut this extra bit off, you know, weld the whole thing up, taking our time with 0.6, mil wire with the MIG. We want to make sure this is as nice and as clean as possible, try to keep all the water out. I cleaned up the edges the best I can. I am going to run the little like belt sander guy here. What is this called in English? Because we just call this like the belt sander or the finger sander, but I think Nihongo nante no?
Belt sander.
Belt sander. That's where I got that from. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a different name for it, but I'm just curious if you guys know in the comments. But yeah, we'll clean this up a little bit so it's a little nicer for welding too. But that's it. Nice and closed in, nice and clean. I am just gonna tap that surface down a bit. It's probably when I pried it up with a screwdriver. But otherwise, like, I'm really happy with that. It does take a lot of time, a lot of effort. We've probably been here for like 20, 30 minutes of just nonstop hammering and stuff, but we haven't cut a single slit. And look how nice and molded that is. Very, very excited about how nice and tight that is. And then when we cut that all the way, we've got our cut arch. Now, obviously, you can go deeper. If you go even deeper, you're gonna probably need an air hammer and a bunch of work, but we don't need to go that deep with this. It's not a comp FD car. The only time you need to go that deep is probably like comp and you're trying to put 19s and have this thing squat like a mofo. So for now, this is more than enough for what we need. And this is probably from stock. From stock, I wanna say, this is almost probably a 50 mil cut because we had the other ones that were flared out already. That was a good 30 mil and we've just gone up by probably another 30 or 20 mil. So 50 to 60 mil from here up to here cut is where we're gonna end up, which I think this looks amazing. It's actually kind of really nice how that's worked out. So what I actually wanna do is take a quick break. I'm gonna go to the home center, get lunch at the same time because there's a Wendy's there. Fun fact, the company First Kitchen in Japan took over the Wendy's franchise. So that's why you see Wendy's First Kitchen. But in Japanese, all the young people, instead of saying First Kitchen, they would say shorten that and they would call it Fucky. So, yeah, that's the nickname for Wendy's in Japan. It's short for First Kitchen. Right, Daiki? And now I can't remember because of that random ADHD side tangent, but I'm going to the home center because Wendy's is there to get lunch, to then get some more reciprocating blades for my little air saw because I really want to do this with the air saw once this is tacked in place. So we'll go do that, but for now we can tack this in at least. And that way I feel like we've kind of accomplished it until then. Got this all tacked in place. Daiki's in there on fire patrol, which is a little involved because I have a cage and trim in there, so he's making it work. We had a little bit of a scare, but just this sound deadening stuff catches on fire, so you got to pull it out. We just ripped it all out, but yeah, tacked in. It's looking really good, nice and tight. I hammered it a little bit more now that it's all tacked in and it got up even nice and closer. So I'm just gonna couple tacks here, couple tacks there, and like keep kind of staggering, not trying to put too much heat all in one place. And then we'll have this done. Then we can trim this off and it should be good.
Aren't you glad Daiki's doing this?
Fire patrol.
Daiki Paw Patrol.
Paw
Paw
Patrol?
Patrol.
One day
Paw
when you're a
Patrol.
parent, you'll know what Paw Patrol is.
Be there on the double.
So this is called the burger stance, right? It's like when you're eating a burger, you open your legs so that when you bite into it, none of the sauce
You mean
drips.
taco?
Oh, taco stance, yeah, anything that would drip, right? This is what, because for some reason I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym today, so I'll wear my gym shorts to work, but that was a regret because I'm welding and I now have exposed legs, little chicken thighs. Welded up the arch. I alternated a little bit, but then just ended up buzzing it because I remembered it's getting covered with an over fender, so I don't need to worry about the steel getting a little wavy. But overall, I think this went really, really well. I still want to tidy up a cut in here and then tack that in. But sealed up, no slits, looks amazing. And now all I gotta do is get my air saw blades from the home center and I'll be able to cut a nice thin line around there, seam seal it all up. Good to go. Well, first we're going to put some primer on there and stuff, some etching primer, and then seam seal it, and it should look really nice. But yeah, that is how you do a cut fender job the right way.
A few moments later.
We're back from lunch. Got ourselves some fresh blades for the little reciprocating air saw. Now we can slice this out and we'll follow the line, the weld line. Dunzo. Woo! Look at that. Now I will clean up some of these edges with the saw because we can go a little higher in some places and stuff. But we got that out of the way. She's all sealed up. Best way to do it, man. I swear. No slits, no nothing. Definitely takes a lot longer to do, but it's so worth it. Look how much nicer this looks already. A little bit more tidying up to do. We do have to take stuff like this out now that are gonna be there from us trimming it, but it's such a better look. And also it's important to make sure you seal up the joint here with weld, so I'll jump in there too. Just these seams here, because you don't want water getting in between these panels here. There's like two panels joined together here. So I'll also just tack that and join that together with some weld on both sides, and then that'll also then get primed and seam sealed and stuff, so that it's not going to cause us any issues in the future. But there you go. Hell yeah. We've had some bigger tires and wheels in there now. Now that we're finished with the other side, it's time for us to do it all over again, but on the driver's side. Hit repeat. Welding it up. Now we just got to cut off the excess, and we'll use the flappy disc and everything to smooth it out, and then we're pretty much done both sides, which is huge. This is like one of the biggest things that I've been dreading doing on this car, so big win. It is. Oh yeah, now we just gotta work on this. Time for a pretty big update. This side is completed. All the holes from the previous over fenders, all welded up. Also did the side skirts. Both sides are done. I've gone over everything with IPA, isopropyl alcohol as well. Made sure that the surfaces are pretty well good. I went over everything too with 400 grit on the orbital sander, just to kind of make sure that when we put the primer on, it's self-etching, but still good idea to just hit it a little bit. Should be good too. These ones here, I'm just gonna have to put a piece of cardboard there and I just want to lock it in so that there's no chance of rust forming. That's it. So that's what I'll do. Get that done, get that primer out, start shaking it, and then first stage is done. This is the most time-consuming thing, I feel like. Fitting the aero will probably take us a day. We should have that done tomorrow, but I'm gonna quickly crack out the can of primer and just seal in this bare metal.
A few moments later.
Not bad, not bad at all. All of that junk, no more. Not bad, eh? All in a good day's of work. Not only did we remove that weight, but we also removed all the putty weight.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Oh.
Looks so good though. That primer on there, cover up all that bare metal, letting it dry right now. We got all the exhaust fans on. Oh yeah, and we obviously took all the foam out, but I mean, let's be honest, that's not really taking up much. Look at this thing though. Came out pretty good. Very happy. Very, very happy actually. Dang. So clean. I've seen so many of these done that are just absolutely hideous. So I know it's all going under an over fender, but still I wanted to make sure we did a nice job so that we never have to revisit this ever again. The one that's on the abandoned S15, that was already done by someone else, and we just kind of had to fix what was already done. And yeah, definitely this is how I like to do it. And now that I've done it once and Daiki knows, he should be able to replicate it if we have to do this again. But yeah, not bad. And it's only 60 mil. If you really want, like, you could go 70 mil, but 60 is probably more than enough, unless you're going to go crazy slammed and try to fit 19s. But honestly, if you're trying to fit 19s, you got more problems than just this, because fitting 19s means you got to cut a lot more other stuff out. Usually anyway. Well, if you want suspension trouble, that is, I guess. I'm very happy with how this turned out. In this video, I was really hoping to start putting the aero on, but it's already time to knock off and send Daiki home. And we've been smashing this out today, plus a bunch of other meetings and things like that took up our time. But all in all, I'm very happy with all the progress. I still can't get over how good that looks. I'm very happy about that, to be honest. Anyways, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. Sorry that we didn't get the aero kit on. I guess that's going to be the next video, but man, we got so much done. I'm exhausted. Time for a relaxing drink upstairs and start editing this video. Ciao, mata.